As you guys know, I got the entire Saturnine box set built up before the pre-order went up. Showed you guys the contents of it and everything like that. That Sunday, so the day after it went on pre-order, I had a bunch of friends over. We played a game of D&D. It was really fun all day. I showed them all the stuff that came in the box set and stuff. And when I was bringing it up to my studio later that day, I ended up dropping the box and breaking a whole bunch of the miniatures. It was very sad. And it's something that was completely avoidable if I had of course, put them away safely before that moment. So what I'm going to do in today's video is show you how I keep my miniature safe. The t-shirt is a bit of a giveaway. And yeah, I'm going to show you how the Warmag system works and how it is absolutely incredible at keeping your miniatures safe. I have been a supporter of Warmag for quite some time now, way before they became an affiliate with the channel themselves. They are now a channel sponsor. I have been purchasing their cases and keeping their models safe. So I know the product, I trust the product, therefore I'm more than happy to share that product with you guys in this. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I'm going to have to reassemble the miniatures that have gotten smashed up inside of this case. It was fairly stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I was the DM. We played for 8 hours straight. I was pretty exhausted. I was bringing up all the scenery and all the mats and everything. And I just put the box on the edge of the table, and as I turned around, it just tilted off the side and came crashing down. So fairly annoyed at myself that it did happen, but what are you going to do? So I took out a fresh, clean tray, and then I just started to remove the models one by one, checking them for damage and missing parts. And when I did find one that was indeed missing some parts, if I needed to, scraped away and cleaned off the old glue. If I didn't, I just added a touch more fresh super glue to the model and got those parts stuck together. So it was a fairly simplistic thing to do, but that's what you got to do. Okay, with the models all reassembled, lined up in their respective squads, it is now time for me to move on and get the models ready to be put inside of the new Warmag cases that I have received. There's actually a new size of Warmag case. Well, I know it's a really useful box, but I didn't know this particular one existed. It is the 9-liter extra large. So it is a 9-liter tub. It has an extra large lid, extra height inside, which normally you would think is great for larger miniatures and stuff like that, a little bit extra height. But no, with this one, there's actually a shelf insert inside of the case, which means that inside this one case, you get 2 trays of models, which I think is brilliant. I reckon you could fit comfortably like a 1500 point 40k army inside of this thing. I reckon if you had 2 of these cases, you could bring your entire Horus Heresy army to a game. And I think that's a really good way of using space and protecting your miniatures. So step 1 is deciding which of the Warmag magnetic sheets you want to put inside of your case, because I will be doing kind of like a Martian style basing scheme across my army. I've always felt that because of all of the kind of like nuclear bombs and arsenal, all the different explosions going off, the amount of manufacturing going on Terra and all that kind of stuff, I reckon there'd be a lot of iron deposits and all that kind of stuff. So I'd imagine the soil on Terra at the height of the heresy is very much like Mars, very red, very damaged, very destroyed, and a little bit more vibrant than just like grey. That's my kind of canon in my head as to why it's that color. I think it just looks incredible, and I think it accents the Imperial Fist color scheme very well. So that's what I'm going to go with. So with that in mind, I chose the Martian style kind of red earth magnetic sheets for the inside of the case. I got 2 of them, ended up getting 3, didn't know that was a 2-pack. We won't talk about that, I'll just put it in another case. So it's a very simple process to get these guys ready to go. So all you do is peel the back off. It's already fully sticky and ready to go. And you just very carefully insert it into the case. And then I like to roll it down to make sure that it's not like trapped air bubbles or anything like that on the inside. And I'll obviously put pressure on it as I'm moving along. And then I push it into place until it's nice and stuck in there, nice and secure. It's not kind of coming up at the corners or anything like that. And it's ready to go. So that is, of course, the top layer. Like I said, I really do enjoy these new cases. I don't know, new to me. And these are the ones I think I'm going to be purchasing from now on. I think the amount of space they hold, what they hold, I think it's the greatest kind of use of everything, if you know what I mean. The amount of space it physically takes up and the amount it can hold, I think is the best trade-off. So I, for one, will be ordering the 9 extra large from now on. I put the tray in, and there we have it. We are ready to start magnetizing miniatures and getting them inside this new case. You do also get a set of stickers with every single set of the magnetic sheets. There tends to be 4 stickers. One is just swag. It's a show off that this case is from Warmag. I still like sticking it on because Warmag. So I stick that on there, and then you get 3 ones for writing. The big square one is for the top. The small narrow one is for the front, and then the long narrow one is for the side. This means that no matter what way you stack your cases on a shelf or on the floor or under a bed, you should have a sticker facing you, and it'll have the information on what's inside of it, so you don't have to kind of go through each and every box to find the one you need. Very useful organizational tool. Quite clever on this guy's part to put all these in. So I stick them all on. I'm yet to commit to writing on any of the stickers just yet. My handwriting's not the best in the world. It's been a long time since I've been in school, but you know, we'll just leave that be. Okay, the next step is, of course, the magnetic base sheets themselves. As you can see, this is the 32mm inserted base. So it means that's a little bit smaller and it fits inside the base. You can get ones if you have a solid base that is exactly the 32mm circumference. So it goes on the outside of the bottom of the base, if that makes sense. I prefer the inside ones. You can't see it. It adds a nice little bit of extra weight to the model. And of course, it keeps it nice and safe and sound. Here is all 41 32mm infantry models that come inside the Saturnine box set, all magnetized up, ranked up by squad. You can see that there's absolutely loads of space around this. I like breaking it up by squad, so it looks like neat and tidy and stuff like that. But if you want to fit more miniatures in here, this is 40. I'd say you could comfortably fit at least 60 32mm infantry models on that tray if you so wished. If you want to push them all together and just kind of sort out what goes with what squad when you get to your game, that's an easy way of doing it. But for me, I just like how it looks like this. Like I said, we still have the bottom area, which is nice and clear. So here is one of the 50mm ace inserts, which is the size of the Saturnine bases. And just like before, this will inset into the base. It'll be nice and flat and smooth. And now the Praetor can get magnetized inside the case, nice and safe and sound. Games Workshop now, just the models are ludicrous, and I don't mean ludicrous in a negative way at all. I love the ludicrousness of the miniatures. Everything's getting bigger and bolder and kind of bigger wingspans and like the Cathayan balloon, all those crazy miniatures. I love them. But obviously they're getting harder and harder to transport to and from. I don't think any of the Games Workshop cases currently, like, you know, can hold a Bellicor comfortably without it breaking kind of thing. And hopefully at some point in the near future, Games Workshop will address this with their own idea of cases. But I'm more than happy to continue using stuff like this. The Warmag cases, I think, are the future for me, keeping everything organized and safe for transportation to games. Especially think of these squads. Each one has like a Vexilla and stuff like that, which is a very fragile banner on the back piece. I don't want to get that damaged. So the entire contents of the Saturnine box set is now inside this case, except the big turret thing. Mainly because I'm not 100% sure what way I want to magnetize it yet, whether I want to drill a hole in the bottom parts and put 4 individual magnets in and then stick it in. It also takes up quite a lot of real estate in the case, so I'm not sure whether I want to store it like this, with the legs folded up, taking kind of a little bit less space, and then just fold it out when I'm playing games and stuff. I haven't quite gotten that far with it yet. I kind of feel like I want it on a nice base, but I don't know. So here is everything inside of it. You can see even the Saturnine Dreadnought fit into the bottom there. There's loads of room left inside of this case, so you can obviously expand your force. I don't know how many points the Saturnine box set is minus the gun, but that's how many points is currently in this case, and I'd say there's only about, I don't know, 60% of the space taken up, maybe 55% of the space taken up in this case so far. So a lot more things can go in. Obviously tanks are going to take up a lot more real estate if you decide to put a fell blade in there, but if you put a fell blade in there with a tank commander and, you know, antenna and stuff like that, do you really want to be trying to put that in a phone case? I don't think so. So, big fan of these cases. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning how they work from this video. I will leave links in the description for you to check them out for yourself. Big thank you to Warmag for becoming a sponsor of the channel. And I'm sure you will see them in some more videos very, very soon.